Oh, what's up, ladies, gentlemen, and dogs out there? We need to talk about the only Magic card named by Snoop Dogg, Niv-Mizzet. Niv-Mizzet, who's commonly referred to as the Fire Mind, is over 16,000 years old. He's an ancient Ravnican dragon obsessed with omniscience, and his intelligence is unsurpassed on the plane. Despite his size, he can move lightly and gracefully. This guy's a thick boy that can move, dude. He's got long blue fringe wings, a long neck, spine membranes around his head. He's got dark horns, man. This guy speaks in a bass rumble that can resonate in the minds of those in proximity, just like Nicky G, dude. This guy can communicate telepathically, which I can also do, and can examine or strip the minds of others, which I haven't mastered yet. This guy's intellect exceeds that of standard mortals. He's known for many ingenious inventions that currently serve the citizens of Ravnica, the most well-known being that of the almost indestructible yet easily usable and forgeable metal, Mizium, possessed of arrogance and vanity that matches his vast intellect and tremendous power. This guy directed his research on experiments of the Izzet for more than 10,000 years. Niv-Mizzet is the oldest and most cunning being on the plane of Ravnica. His magical prowess has proven enough to cast at least 100 spells instantaneously with only the briefest flicker of his mind. Spells that would individually require the full concentration of a mortal mage. This is who we're dealing with here, man. This fella's a big old genius. I like this guy. He's thick, but he doesn't let that get him down, you know. Focuses on himself. He's got that self-improvement, brother. You gotta be unapologetically you. Don't let other people get you down, even if you're a fat dragon. Anyways, man, this guy has a new card. It's pretty bomb. Let's discuss this in the context of his older iterations, and we'll explore the cards you want to slot in to combo out with this guy. But first, you gotta slap that like button, dude. Subscribe. That's free AF and helps the channel. You can support directly if you want, like the Chad Masters and the Patreon, or click that membership button below. Either way, I love you guys so much. You're my sweet brothers. Check this out, man. Niv-Mizzet, Visionary, 4 blue and a red, legendary creature, dragon wizard. It's a 5/5 with flying. You have no maximum hand size. Awesome. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. Ravnica's sharpest mind and its biggest ego. This guy's had a few Izzet color cards that deal with damage and drawing cards. Firemind, from the original Ravnica City of Guilds. Whenever you draw a card, Niv-Mizzet the Firemind deals 1 damage to any target. He also has tap to draw a card. This gets the train rolling and combos with the Visionary. Now, don't forget, you don't have 120 cards in your deck, so if you slap this guy out, you're just going to draw yourself out of the game. Then we return to Ravnica. We got this guy, Niv-Mizzet the Draco Genius. Whenever he deals damage to a player, you may draw a card. Has blue and a red, Niv-Mizzet Draco Genius deals 1 damage to any target. Then we got the Perun in Guilds of Ravnica. The spell can't be countered. Whenever you draw a card, this guy deals 1 damage to any target. Rad, man. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you may draw a card. Now this guy also combos with the Visionary, but he's got that wacky casting cost, man. That's a difficult dang amount of colored mana, brother. This was probably the best iteration, or at least one of my favorites. And the old Nibble-Mashivel has a few 5-color versions that deal with 2-color cards, like the guilds are 2 colors, on Ravnica. These are irrelevant to this conversation, though. They're kind of neat, generically useful build-arounds, If I had to pick a favorite, it'd probably be the Guild Pact, leaning into 2-color permanents. 5-color decks just seem like a chore, honestly. I do have a couple 5-color decks. It's a big pain in the van to fix, but it's doable, But listen, man, building a 5-color deck is kind of exhausting. Now listen, man, I know what you're thinking over here. You're looking at that sexy Phyrexian horror in the corner, the Psychosis Crawler. So this guy's 5 generic mana, artifact creature, Phyrexian Horror. This guy's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. But listen, bro, that's life loss, that's not damage, alright? While damage causes loss of life, it doesn't work the other way around. This is a nifty way to double up the Visionary's ability, though, to reduce the life totals. Now you're going to be drawing a monstrous amount of cards, so you might want to slot in the Locust Gun out there. 4 blue and a red, legendary creature god. It's a 4/4, has flying. Whenever you draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and a red insect creature token with flying and haste. Has 2 blue and a red, draw a card, discard a card. When this guy dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Fantastic. Now, if you want to get in the mill game, this card is pretty rad. Psychic Corrosion, 2 and a blue, enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Looks like Emperor Palpatine's mind is melted, brother, and that's unfortunate. Now, this could be a win condition, but you have to kind of lean into graveyards. I don't know how I feel about this. It's interesting, though. So listen, man, from there, what kind of deck do you want to be building here, man? This guy kind of cries for burn, non-combat damage. So you have the damage doublers out there, Solfim, City on Fire, Fiery Emancipation, Angrath's Marauders, which is an unsung one, Fiendish Duo, which is only about 50 cents. And if you hate one particular player, Sawhorn Nemesis. So this guy, if a source would deal damage to the chosen player or a permanent they control, it deals double that damage instead. And as he enters the battlefield, choose a player. Torbrand, he's another good one, man. Look at this guy. He's got a real sinister little face, man. I don't trust this fella. Listen, that's a double-cross look if I've ever seen one. So Niv-Mizzet, man, you're going to have to make him stick. You might want to slap some greaves and boots in for our dude out there. And then it's going to be time to burn, baby. You also want some counter spells as well. You're in blue, man. Listen, you got to put some counter spells in the deck because this guy is going to be a huge target. Now it's going to be time to burn, and we have some great burn enablers out there like Chandra's Incinerator. So this is 5 and a red, creature elemental, it's a 6/6 with trample, costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponents this turn. So this guy's going to cost 1 red mana most likely. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, this guy deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker that player controls. It's kind of a mini little sweeper out there. Never underestimate this guy. One of my favorite cards is Descent into Avernus. 2 and a red for an enchantment. At the beginning of my upkeep, put 2 Descent counters on it. Then each player creates X treasure tokens, and Descent into Avernus deals X damage to each player, where X is the number of Descent counters on this thing, man. So first upkeep after this is out, if you have your commander out, you're going to be drawing 6 cards. That's bonkers, dude. Damn mana barbs, brother. There are barbs all up in this ball, man. You don't want barbs scratching up your balls of light. This is symmetrical. That's why we do the risky business, man. We like the risky decks. And of course, you gotta love the modal sweepers, right? That spare your commander, like Earthquake out there. X and a red for a sorcery. Deals X damage to each creature without flying and each player. How about Heartless Hiretsugu here? 3 red, legendary creature, Ogre Shaman. It's a 4/3. Has tap. This guy deals damage to each player equal to that player's life total rounded down. That solves our combo problem right there, man. We don't have to deal that much damage with this guy out there. This guy is dealing damage. He's heartless, but he's not armless, man. You don't get guns like that without swinging a few weights around, brother. This guy's only about $2. Combos with those damage doublers I mentioned earlier. Budget-wise, you can get really efficient damage with cards like Flame Rift. Very simple card, 1 and a red. Flame Rift deals 4 damage to each player. So if your commander's out there, man, that's amazing. This would also be an awesome Dragon's Approach creature because you have 2 dragons that combo with your commander. Electro Dominance, Crackle with Power, they got those sweet newspaper art reprints, and of course I am being facetious because those are ugly as sin, but they're cheap, man, and if it's cheap, it's for me, brother. So of course I pointed my laser-like intellect at this, equal to that of a dragon, but a really dumb dragon. I got a $100 budget list. It's got flavor, it's got combo. This guy's pretty easy to build around, man. But it was surprisingly challenging to find cards that damage opponents specifically, but the payoff is nuts. Check it out in the description, buddy. Turn 7 or so, you're really cooking. Alright, if this guy sticks, lots of ramp to get our dude out, then enough damage to draw into our win conditions. Anyways, man, the old Nibble, Nipple, Shivel, Twister, Shovel Popper seems like a powerful commander. You get popping some cards that combo with the other Mizzet like Curiosity, Ophidian Eye, put a little redundancy in there. All in all, this guy's pretty nuts, man. You're going to be drawn into so many cards. You could probably draw into incidental combos with Nimble Mimble and his other iterations as well. Anybody thinking about building this dude, do so at your own risk. Because that's the deck I'm watching, man. I'm watching you, dude. If you plop this guy in the command zone, I'm going to keep my eyes on you. Just like right now, dude. I'm in your toilet tank. I'm floating on a little rubber duck in there. And that's creepy commander, dude. Nikki G, signing off.